What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to Adventure Pilipinas again. And I've been riding out lately with the Black Riders at my back. We'll meet them. So today we're going to talk about bikes again, as usual. In particular, we're going to talk about Chinese-made motorcycles. So I had a Chinese motorcycle some 10 years ago. It's called Motorstar Predator 150. It looks like this. And then I turned it into this. And then I turned it into this. And into this. I rode that bike for 8 years and never gave me a problem. So we're going to talk about a Chinese motorcycle's reliability, its parts and maintenance. So you can decide whether you wanna buy one or not. Now, like I said, I owned the motorcycle, the Chinese motorcycle, for like 8 years, and mind you, it never gave me a headache, not even in long rides. During our times, Chinese motorcycles are worse when it comes to bolts and nuts. Yep, that's right. And then in electricals too. At least twice a week you have to check the bolts and nuts. You have to tighten them up, otherwise everything will fall. You know. Now, some 10 years ago, the Chinese motorcycles electricals are the worst too. But I believe right now they kind of evolved, you know, in terms of quality. But during our days, man, something will break down. But the engine is superb. The engine is robust, you know. But you have to do the maintenance, you know, the proper change oil, the change oil interval, and stuff like that. So those are the things I did. Now, I had problems before when buying the parts, because it's not available when you buy it. So a mechanic told me, just bring the broken part to a motorcycle shop and don't say the brand name of your bike. Amazingly, I did. And then what I said was, hey, I'm looking for this part and I don't know the brand of the bike. The mechanic just told me to buy this here, and he said anything, any brand will do. And amazingly, Chinese motorcycle has compatible parts. Yes, it is so compatible, specifically with Honda motorcycles. That's right. Even the engine gearing, pistons, whatever, some Honda parts will be there. Anyway, those are the things you have to look for. Nowadays, I think Chinese motorcycles are okay now, because they even launched a 400cc. Now, regarding reliability, like I said, to make it more reliable, you have to do the proper maintenance religiously. That's religiously. Now, others would say, at least during our times, that when you have a Chinese motorcycle, it's not gonna get you from point A to point B. Well, it can. Yes, it can. But don't ask how fast, you know, because Japanese bikes are meant to be abused, you know. Unlike Japanese bikes, which can be abused, the Chinese motorcycles tends to be, you know, brittle. I don't know the exact word, but something will give in if you push it that hard. So you gotta be gentle with the bike. You have to be smooth, you know. It's not a it's how do you say it? You don't ride the bike like a Mad Max rider, you know. I didn't say you have to be gentle, but you just had to be smooth. That's what I'm saying. So it can get you to point A to point B. Now there are other riders who has ridden the North Luzon. It's a loop. It's a thing that we call here in the Philippines, you know, North Luzon loop. So it's something like 1,300 plus kilometers. It's a paved road, so you won't have any problems. But yeah, Chinese motorcycles can do that. Now, what I don't like about the Chinese motorcycle is the after service, you know. I can't say today because I haven't owned a Chinese motorcycle lately. But during our times, man, parts are not available, service are worse. So we had to do everything ourselves, you know. In my club, in my former club, we almost become mechanics on the road because we had to fix the bikes ourselves. Now, China bikes nowadays, I think, is very reliable. And mind you, the design today of a lot of bikes, it's really nice. They have this classic looking 250cc, which I really like. Looks like a cafe racer or something. At stock form, it looks classic, man, like it came from the 1960s. So yeah, and most of the bikes of my club are still around. They're still using it, you know. Although there are a lot of parts that was changed, but that is given. Any motorcycle consumable parts will have to be changed anyway. So it's not really bad after all. You just had to be mindful of the bike. You just had to be triple caring of the bike when you own a Chinese motorcycle. Another disadvantage of owning a Chinese motorcycle is that your bike will be bashed in social media. But I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Because although I own the Chinese bike, I'm proud that I bought that bike because it was cheap and I made it reliable by taking care of the bike. Never had problems with the bike actually. So I'm proud of the bike. I made lots of miles on that bike. Going back to the electricals, there's one time that my CDI broke down. So my mechanic told me that to buy this on a certain motorcycle shop, which I did. Surprisingly, the CDI replacement I got is from a scooter, from a GY6 scooter. So as you can see, a lot of branded motorcycle parts are compatible with the Chinese motorcycles. For all you know, there may be even branded parts that were made by China themselves, so you'll never know. So yeah, it's not really bad at all. But one thing I noticed about the Chinese motorcycles, the stock tires, man, those were hard compound stock tires. It's good when it's when you have a weather like this, but when it's raining, it was so slippery. I had like 3 accidents, minor, accidents on my motorcycle. And I got the bike for like 3 months. Then after 3 months I had 3 spills already, so I had to change the tires. Nowadays Chinese motorcycles are doing well. I believe the aftermarket service sales is all right now. If you want to buy the motorcycle, Chinese motorcycle, do not worry about the parts. There are a lot of parts nowadays, a lot of compatible parts. Besides, nowadays Chinese motorcycles are more reliable as compared to some 10 years ago.